My name is Ferdinand Omanyala, 25-year-old, African record holder. I hold the record of Africa in 100 meters standing at 9.77 seconds.
Omanyala trying to dress, but it's come back to him.
The record previously was being held by Akani Simbine of South Africa. He ran 9.84 seconds in around July. But then I broke it 2 months later at the Kipkeino Classic here in Nairobi. I ran 9.77 seconds. I came second behind a USA guy. He ran 9.76, I ran 9.77. So there is where the African record is and where the national record is. Yeah, so I've been competing since 2016. I was a rugby player before, and I played rugby in high school, in Form 3 and Form 4. So I joined rugby when I was in campus. I am a student at University of Nairobi, pursuing Bachelor of Science in Chemistry. So in my first year, I joined the Mean Machine, and then the Kenya Cup level was too bad for me. Not bad in bad way, but it was too high. So I decided to drop down to championship. So in the championship league is where I found someone who asked me why I should not try athletics. So I thought, yeah, I should give it a try, and that's why I decided to move to athletics. And since 2016, it's been growth and a lot of pain, a lot of so many things. But then this year it's smoothing up, and we are now here. As an athlete, my typical day starts around 6, depending on the day. Like I always race on Sundays, so I train from Monday to Saturday. So on Mondays is when we start at the gym, and then we come back to track. I always train here at Kasarani, and then we go home for lunch, come back again for the evening session. We repeat that from Monday to Saturday. What I love most about this sport is that it gives you discipline. It makes you be hardworking, not just in track, but also around, not just in track, but also in life generally. Because the discipline that comes with it, you have to wake up for training, you have to be on time for the training sessions, you have to be on time for the events. So it built me it built my character as much as it built me in track. So I love this sport because, again, it makes me travel the world, because it's a sport that you have to go for races across the world. So I love traveling, and the sport has given me the chance to travel. I was born in a place called Vihiga, in Hamisi, in Vihiga County. But then I never stayed in Vihiga because we moved to Western, in Bungoma County, a place called Tongareni. So that's where I've been raised. That's where my parents live. And then also I've been in school in St. Erastus Preparatory somewhere in Western. And then I joined French School Kamsinga for my high school. And then I came to University of Nairobi. So growing up as a kid, I was an active kid, and then I've never been to a hospital or anything, so I've been healthy. And then I remember this speed, I think, came from where my mom, my mom was a very hard disciplinarian, so sometimes you could make mistakes, but then you slip over her hands and you run away. So for her to catch you, she had to run so fast, but she never caught me at any point. So the only thing that was making me come back is when she's tired, she stops, and then she tells me, let's see where you eat supper. So, you think about eating supper, and then you just have to come back. So that's me growing up. And it's been, I was an active kid since I was a young kid, and that has built me up for who I am today. So my experience as a young kid, educationally, my dad is an educationist, because my dad studied in Alliance High School, went to JKUAT. He was among those top guys during those days. So I remember even at home, he had built us a library. So you have to learn, you have to work hard. So anything comes after education. So I was a smart kid in high school. I mean, in primary school, because I was always in the top 3. And then going to high school, mostly I was in the top 100. In top 100 in a competitive school like Kamsinga, you are good. I scored a grade of A- in high school, and then joined university. So we used to learn. We used to study hard when we were kids. And then in primary school, I was active, but primary school does not have so much of sport. I played volleyball in primary school, a bit of volleyball, but not so much because in primary school it's all in the private schools, it's all about studies, so you can't do so much on sports. Yeah. In Kamsinga, when I joined, I was excited because it's one of the biggest schools in Kenya, and it's one of the respected schools when you come to national school level. So joining Kamsinga was my excitement. As when I joined Kamsinga, the discipline was too high. I remember I was suspended like twice. But then it built me up to who I am today because I joined rugby in Form 3 and Form 4, and that character, because in rugby in high school, everybody who played sports had to be followed. He had to be followed and he had to be kept on toes because you have to be good in sports and you have to be good in class. So that built me up for who I am today. And the discipline in Kamsinga is too high, and it's also a good school in terms of academics. So it gave me both academics and social life also, and also it gave me sports life. So yeah, it was a nice experience in high school. Yeah, so after Kamsinga, I was called up for the Bachelor of Science in Chemistry in the University of Nairobi, Chiromo campus. And then I joined high school. I joined campus in around September. So life after high school, it was nice, just flew, as in it just went the way I was expecting, because I knew I was going to finish high school, to join university, finish campus, and then get some job somewhere, be in a lab. I loved chemistry and maths, so that's why I chose the Bachelor of Science in Chemistry, because it all entails, it's a mixture of chemistry and mathematics. So I thought I'd just get into campus, clear the 5 years in campus, and then proceed to get a job. But then when I joined campus, I decided to try athletics, and then athletics is so much, it needs a lot of attention, so I had to defer and then concentrate on athletics. So it's changed a bit, but now you have to look for money before you can do other things. So right now I'm pursuing it for the passion and also for the livelihood. When I joined the campus, my parents were so happy, and then at some point in my first year, I told my parents that I want to run. And my dad was excited because he was a sprinter before, and he gave me so much support because of what I was doing. So he said, yeah, you go and try, because he even bought me my first ever spikes. So the support that comes from the parents was too much. My mom also, when you're doing something and giving you something back in return, so that's the pride of parents. So my parents were supportive. They were very, very supportive, and they have been supportive ever since, and they are still supportive. My parents were supportive, so I like to encourage those parents out here who the kids have talent, not just in academics, but also sports and any other thing, artist or poem writing. So what I can tell the parents is that now we are taking a different route. We are taking a different route, not just depend on academics. We are taking this sport into not even sport alone, but we are taking co-curricular activities into being a career. So if you see your kid has a potential in anything, just support him. Don't be a hindrance. Don't make that kid regret at some point in life because of the decision you're making on him. So if you see your kids are doing any other thing apart from education, support them. You never know what tomorrow holds. When I joined athletics, everything changed. Transitioning from field to athletics, I thought it was an easy thing, but it was hard because training is hard in athletics. You have to give it a lot of attention, and you have to think about athletics every time. So my journey has been a journey of ups and downs, challenges here and there, but challenges are there in life, and you have to know how to overcome them. So since 2016, I've been running fast since 2016. The growth has been always perfect because it's been from 10.3 to 10.2 to 10.1 to 10.0 to 9.8 to 9.9 to 9.7 where I am today. So the journey has been tough, I must say, but doors opened this year and it's been a blessing. Yeah, so welcome back. We are back again. So my 2021 journey has been so progressive and, you know, amazing and also surprising because it's the times I'm running now, I've been always dreaming about them and they all came in 3 months. So starting off this year, I started with breaking the national record in January, 10.11 in Nyayo Stadium. And then I went to Nigeria, I ran 10.01, another national record. I went to South Africa again, I ran a 10.0. So the 10.0s were flowing in. So we went to the Olympic Games and then it was the biggest stage that I've ever been and it was the biggest championship that I've ever run. So getting there and getting to the semi-finals was a plus for me because it's my first ever championship and it's the Olympics. And it opened a lot of doors. I got to be invited in so many races because of the Olympic Games. So after the Olympics, I decided to move to Europe. There is where I ran my first sub-10 in Austria, 9.96, and then I ran 9.86 1 hour later. So we went to Finland for some races. I took the races as training. I broke records there in the stadium records. Some were ran like 26 years ago. I broke them. And then we went for the Diamond League in Brussels again. I came fourth. And then now we came home for the Kipkeino Classic, where we had the names like Justin Gatlin, Trayvon Bromell, the biggest guys in sports. And I came second. I broke the African record there. So it's been a year of progression. The map has just been going up and up and up. And I pray that next season again, the map stays the same. Many people say they have never seen me. I've just come from nowhere. I've not come from nowhere because I've been in this sport for the last 5 years, since 2016. And it's not that I've not been, because you know this sport, this country, many people believe in middle and long distance. So every time we compete, the only thing they talk about is 400 meters to 10,000 until I started breaking records. So I've been competing, but it's been progressively. You just can't start today and then you run fast today. So I've been running progressively from 10.3s to, I've been running 10.3s, 10.2s. But now this year is when I broke the limits. I started running 10.0s and sub-10. So that's why we caught the attention of so many people. And I pray that there'll be so many people coming behind me. And when I'm done with this sport, at least I pray that there'll be more people behind me so that the sprint is not forgotten in this country. I've been asked if I have a best race. You know, it's like asking an artist if he has a best song. So I cannot speak out because most of the races I've run, they have always been a memory I've created. So the biggest highlight was the 977, of course, because the president was there and there were so many people there. There were millions of people watching and the video is still circulating in YouTube. So I can say that was my highlight of the year because it was my last race of the season and I came out as the African record holder. So I can say that was my highlight. But all the other races I've run, I've been creating memories and I've enjoyed every race that I've competed in. I never knew the president was there during the Kipkeino Classic. It was until I was told to go and greet the president is when I realized that the president was in the field. But when I was going in there, I never knew. What fascinated me was nobody was seated down when we were going for that event. Everybody was standing. It's like the seats were hot. And the excitement and the adrenaline rush in the field was just too much, because I remember even at the call room, all these guys who were writing our names before we got in for the games were just hurriedly writing our names because they also want to witness this great moment, because we've never hosted an 100 meters event, international 100 meters event. That was the first one. So it was a fascinating moment. I never knew the president was there, but I I felt happy and proud that he came and supported us. So what keeps me going every day? You know, training is hard. Sometimes you go to sleep, your muscles are very sore, you're feeling a lot of pain. But again, the following day you have to wake up and come for training. So what keeps me going is the saying that says never give up. And the achievements that I've had in the past are the ones that keeps me going, because if you can imagine and remember that you ran a 9.7 and there's so much expectations coming ahead. So you have to wake up every day, go for training and try to be better than you were yesterday. Yeah, so anybody who wants to be an athlete, sprinter, it's a game of hard work. It's a game of patience. You can't start today and expect to run fast tomorrow. You have to be patient, you have to be disciplined, you have to be honest with yourself, because you can't be given a workout and then you don't do the workout and just sleep or not do it. So what I can tell them is never give up and continue pushing, be disciplined, be hardworking, and one day the hard work and the dreams that you have will come to be realized. So all these years I've been looking up to Johan Blake, the Jamaican sprinter. He's had the best also, is also the best of careers. He's the second fastest man ever, and he was giving Usain Bolt troubles at some point. So I look up to Johan Blake because of the records he's been setting, and I pray that I also get to that point and take the second position and then eventually the first position. So I look up to Johan Blake. Where we go wrong as young people, I doubt if we go wrong anywhere, but we just need the motivation. We need to see, like right now, people have seen that there's hope in sprinting in Kenya. I'm one of the examples. I'm actually the example because I've been training in Kenya. I've never trained outside this country, but I've achieved the things that I've achieved. So as young people, we just need to be motivated. We just need to see that it's possible. So I pray that whatever field we are as young people, we just see that it's possible so that we can pursue it to the end. Yeah, so my dream is to break the world record, and I'm working towards that. That's my biggest dream, and a legacy that I want to leave in this country, in this sport, in this world, is that people remember me for what I've done for the sprints industry in this country. I want to build up other sprinters. I want to build up other Umanyalas. I want to build a sprint camp in this country so that we can also produce. I know there's so much talent in this country. There are so many people who can run fast in football, in rugby, in other sports. So just tapping these talents and bringing it to track, that's my dream, and I want to leave that legacy in this country. Anytime, I have a family, I have a wife and a son. And anytime I get back to the house, I don't take tracks with me in the house. All the fame, all the things we talk in track, we leave it outside that door. When you get in the house, you're someone's dad, you're someone's husband, so you have to be respectful. You have to hear what they say. You have to be interactive with them, so you can't be a famous guy in the house. So that's how I've managed to balance between athletics and family. So when you come to track, you do everything family aside, everything in track, you work hard. When you get home again, you do everything that the family needs to see. One thing that people don't know about me, I doubt if there's any, because I'm that jovial person. I'm not that serious. I don't take life that serious, but I know what it needs to be done and when it needs to be done. So yeah, that's me. My favorite meal is ugali and meat. Ugali, because it's one of the staple foods in Kenya. And for Waluya, people come from that kind of that part of the country. We love ugali, so that's my favorite food. All my social medias are my favorites because I always move from one to the other. I go to Instagram, nitoke. I go to Facebook, ninge Twitter. So I use it to encourage people. If you look at my posts, most of my posts are always encouragement quotes posts, because I believe it will encourage someone somewhere. As an athlete, every time you get an injury, it's a low moment. So for me, I've had injuries before, back injury, hamstring injuries. Those were the lowest moments because you come to the field, you can't train because you're injured. And yeah, it's always a very low moment, but you know, you have to deal with it, and it's always a learning process. Every time, everything, I don't regret anything in life. I always say it's always a learning process. Anytime I represent, I wear the Kenyan kits, I always know that there are 47 million people behind me. And one thing I always tell myself is, I don't want to disappoint people, but again, I don't want to put pressure on myself. So it's always a great feeling to represent the country, and it's like you've been given the mantle, you're carrying the whole nation on your shoulders. To this sport, you know, we can make it a career in this country, and like ministry, all other sectors can come in and support this sport, you know, this industry, the sprint industry, so that people who can sprint can make a living out of this. So I urge the ministry to put in more funds, to put in more support towards the sprints, develop sprints club, and support the athletes who are trying to sprint in this country. Yeah, I was given a car by one of the betting companies, and it's a great car. It's a brand new Harrier. So that's the machine that I'm moving around with. So you know, like when you see these things happening, it's something that I'm proud of, because it's you know, people are happy about what you're doing. So rewarding me is a great feeling. My wife also sprints. We met in an event in 2016. We met even before I became famous. So she's also a sprinter. She does 100 meters and long jump. So I'm supporting her to the fullest. I want her to also realize her dreams. I want her to also reach to the level that I am today. And she's very supportive and very understanding. So we look forward to a great family in track. So the Kenyans who have been supportive, I appreciate it so much, and the support has been massive. Online, phone calls and messages, I appreciate it so much, and I pray and I promise you that it only gets better from here. We are working hard so that we can make you guys extremely proud. So my social media accounts, Fadi Omanyala on Instagram, Ferdinand Omanyala Facebook, Fadi Omanyala Twitter, TikTok again, Ferdinand Omanyala.